we are talking about higher self. Some people do believe that your higher self can connect it with anyone. I mean, living or being living, that it's possible. I do remember that from Dolores Cannon methods, it's possible, but rarely. When you have a mother and daughter or some close connection, it's possible, but it depends. Can you explain for our viewers when it's possible and how it's often?
Well, to me, it's always possible. It's anything is possible, so it's always possible. Now, there again, you've got to use the discernment because you're coming through. If it's in a session, information is coming through what I call a filter. It's somebody's conscious mind is sitting there filtering the information. So it might be shifting it around a little bit. You have to always be aware that that could happen, and you use your discernment. Otherwise, you could be getting a lot of belief systems that this conscious mind has. So that's where it's absolutely possible, because energetically, once you leave this physical body, you're moving out there. We're all energy, we're all connected. So absolutely, I can connect to your higher self, you can connect to Kaya's higher self. We can do this all over the place. Well, I think what she was talking about, as far as like maybe in a surrogate session, when you're working with somebody else, it works best if you can keep it in close familial lines, really close connections. It's possible to be anybody around the world, on other dimensions and planets and all things like that. It's just, and that's what we do really when we're in a session. But if you're working with a surrogate system, then you want somebody that's close to the person.
So I had a good example. My friends make a session by using Dolores Cannon methods, and they ask me, my consciousness, so myself, can we ask your higher self about one question? I said, okay, you may, I accept it. So after the regression session, they answered, so your higher self deny us. What's going on?
Yeah, and that can happen. I've had that happen, and this is one of the things I teach, is that if it will ask for permission.
Yeah.
The higher self will ask permission of the other person if it's okay to ask questions about them. And if it's not okay, I mean, your maybe conscious mind may be saying, yeah.
Yes, conscious mind may say yes.
But the higher self is like, no. And that's happened to me when I've tried to do energy work, remote energy work, and this is what I teach in the class, is sometimes you will send, you're sending what you want to somebody, and I've had actually a hand come up like, no, no, not wanted, not needed, no. So it's like, okay, and that's that person's choice. So something about that, I mean, it's very possible that your higher self said, no, we don't want to go there.
Yeah, Kaya, did you hear this kind of situation, or what is your comment about this?
In that I don't really have a shutting the door type of energy when I work with people. When we teach, one of the most important things that we say is, listen, you're going to sit here and you'll be taking and absorbing information through our training. Then you're going to go to sleep at night. And there's going to be a part of you that is also going to be participating in a different type of learning. It's not physical learning. It's a type of symbolic learning that you're going through. And we're going to be interacting with our oversoul group, with kind of like a group of our souls, and then another higher group where we're all together in that. Otherwise, we never would have found each other here. Like if you're listening to this right now, we are part of the same oversoul. You've decided to come into this niche, special type of spirituality or desire about existence that the most people on the earth have absolutely no idea it exists. The majority of all people on earth have no idea that this exists. They think life is much more linear and it's much more of a tunnel, and the possibilities are not that great at all. So we found each other, and much like the same way we realize there's more to life to this, we realize there's more to our relationship than this. So I have constantly people saying, oh, I had a dream about you last night, we were doing this and this and that. And I said, yeah, I totally believe it, because I open myself up to you both consciously and subconsciously, anyone listening, for us to connect and continue on with our conversations, our discovery, our learning in the dream world, where much learning is going on. And the dream world just may be more real than this world. You may be more alive actually in the dream world.
Yeah, and it's possible that right now we have a dream. Why not? Are you one of the 3 waves of volunteers?
I don't know if I am or not.
Okay.
I've had many lives on Earth. I've also had many lives on other star systems. I've also in direct connection with the energy of different stars. So I've had QHHT sessions in Atlantis, in Lemuria, in Egypt. I mean, all over. As a French explorer exploring the Atlantic Ocean, I've lived many of these different lives. So per se, I wouldn't be the stereotypic volunteer that didn't have a life before and is coming to Earth with a reason. I've been here many times, and I'm very acclimated with the Earth energy. And I definitely have a mission with this life here on Earth. It's to completely connect us to an interstellar cosmic consciousness that is bigger than the Earth, and welcome us in like brothers and sisters of other beings in different galaxies and different star systems. I 1000% believe in UFOs or beings from other places, and I'm very connected to the ones that are kind and benevolent and wise. And I believe our Earth consciousness is still pretty primitive. We have a lot of growth before we stop the war, we stop the fighting, we stop the competition, and we realize that it's not about competition, it's really about cooperation. And the more we cooperate with each other, and the more, it doesn't matter what country you're from, it doesn't matter what language you speak, it doesn't matter what your petitions of the past have been. What really matters is, how open are you to where you want to go? How open are you to an Earth that you want to see? The degree at which you're open to what you want to see is the degree to which you can get there. So it's about opening your mind. And anyone listening to this, I pretty much know that you have a much more open mind than a lot of people you know, because we talk about some wild stuff.
Yeah, but it's convoluted universe, I can say. And I would like to ask about QHTT sessions, which you had a lot, and trends in 2021. Do you see or do you feel that some trends right now is current, so that something changes and right now we have a kind of wave with topics?
There's definitely a major theme is that there's lots of sessions that we hear of parallelisms between what's happening in the Earth right now and what happened with Atlantis.
Yes.
And there was the civilization of Atlantis, a civilization that got very sophisticated with technology. They got very sophisticated with what they could do with genetic engineering, with technology, with harvesting type of nuclear powered energy and crystalline energy, playing with dark matter, doing a lot of powerful things, and polarization of 2 different types of group of people, sort of like this group versus that group, you know, and some are more the light, some are more the dark, and they end up destroying themselves, and they end up destroying the civilization. And the civilization was a good civilization. It just didn't keep spirituality and wisdom as the priority above the technology. They lost that connection, that attraction to spirituality that kept them together, and it got diluted with all the technology, and they got the wrong information because information got easy, but it got easy to get the wrong information. So they chose the wrong information, meaning information that makes them feel apart, makes them want to be separate, makes them want to be different, makes them want to choose this or that. And they kind of ignored the information that was bringing people together, and it made them experiment, and it caused a lot of problems and eventually destroyed their world. Well, we're at now the same type of world with the same type of leaders actually back in the same roles that they had in Atlantis, coming through in slightly different ways, but still a lot of similarities. And we're faced with those same challenges as existence right now. Is what do we want to listen to? Do we want to listen to stuff that scares us, that stuff that makes us want to push everything away? Or do we want to listen to a message of, listen, we're in this together, we're in the Earth together, let's protect the Earth, Let's bring ourselves together. Let's spread positive messages, and let's use our connection and our desire to make other people better too. You can kind of tell the spiritual people that have evolved from the not so much is when someone can do nothing for you, when it's someone you know and really they can do nothing for you in life. They're not going to advance you in any way. They're not giving you money. They can't really give anything for you. How do you treat them? How do you treat the people that can't outright do anything for you? Do you still treat them with compassion? Do you still treat them with kindness and love? Or do you ignore them completely as if they can't really even help you, or make them different and try and take more away from them? Those problems were there in Atlantis, and those problems are still here now. We're faced with the question, what do we want to do? And I think the people here that are drawn to QHHT, drawn to your channel, drawn to your wisdom, they know the right thing to do. Yeah. They know that it's not just about me, it's about us.
I know that some people are very attractive to a kind of magic and a kind of stories which make a kind of a level of reincarnation, I guess. And we are talking about the real information, what is going on. And possibly you do have a kind of some of progression, what's next. So we have this point as a spiral story which come again, yeah, from Atlantis, as you said. And what is going on later on? So I mean, what is your kind of prediction or session prediction?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's your choice. There's two worlds. The worlds are splitting right now. There's a split. You can go into the 3D world and you can stay in the world of the fighting, of the tension, of the friction, of the secrecy, of feeling that you need to hide things from other people. Or you can decide you want to be more in a world where it's sharing, where it's using tools to be powerful together. And we have different technologies and social media, when used the right way, can bring us together. We are going the direction of what we say the 5D world. If you're here now, you're listening, and 5D world is a world where you're really free to be yourself, where you have equal opportunity, where the world is really growing, where you treat the earth well, and it's heaven on earth. And you can shift to that world, or you can choose to stay in this world. Either choice is okay. You can continue with cycles of karma, and you can work through karma. You can do this life all over again if you want. You can do the whole thing all over again if you want. Or you can decide the job is to kind of go to the next level.
Yeah,
you know,
as many lives.
But dear Julia, I remember that about 10 years ago, possibly more, Dolores wrote about this kind of choose. You are staying or you are going. So some people understand that the earth in physical thing will split to, how to say, to two earths. What is your understanding and your vision from today for this kind of changes?
It is a choice. And like Kai was just saying, it's which way do you want to go? Where do you want to be? It's a matter of choosing your thoughts, and that creates your world. And as soon as you keep doing that, right, we're pulled in both directions. That's why we have these choices. That's why we can see these things around us, so that we will make the choices. It's to consciously make and choose which way you want to go. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just which one do you want, period. And so you are choosing it. Now, one stays with the 3D vibration, and the other one is the 5D vibration. It's just choices. And then there's areas in between based on how much going back and forth you're doing. So, but that's why sometimes you'll see things that are 3D vibration, because that's where your thought process is. That's where you're vibrating. So you're choosing to look at something from that direction. And then, but as soon as you start choosing a different direction, then you will go in that direction. So really, and we have yet, I think it will happen where there actually is a split, because there'll be so much that, if I'm thinking this way, solidly this way, it's going to be hard for me to ever interact. I think it will actually maybe bring the two worlds in separation. It's like they will actually separate. But right now, how I see it, it's just a consciousness thing. We are choosing where we want to be, so we are shifting into our own world through our consciousness, our conscious thoughts. Now, when that happens, to me, it's like it's not just two worlds we're talking about. It's however many people there are on the earth. It's whatever, 7-8 billion people. Then that's how many shifts. That's how many things that are happening. That's how many possible earths there are.